All right, let's go ahead and get started here with Chromebook accessibility features. So as you guys know, your students have Chromebooks, and there are some accessibility features built in the Chromebooks to help make them a little bit easier to manage. I have a quick little 3-minute video here that's going to go over some of those features. So we're going to take a look at this video together, and I'm going to need someone to let me know if my computer sound isn't working. I think I'm sharing it properly, but let me know if you can't hear it. And then we'll take a look at some of the other accessibility resources available to you to help your students use their Chromebooks better. So let's watch the video.
Welcome back to EDU in 90. Tim and Morgan here, and on this episode, we'll highlight some of the useful accessibility tools available on Chromebooks.
That's right. Schools include all different types of learners, with educators working hard to support their diverse needs. So it's critical that they have the tools to keep students included, engaged, and informed throughout the learning process. Today, we'll examine how Google's Chromebook accessibility tools support individual learning styles with built-in accommodations.
Students have diverse abilities and wide-ranging needs, and Chromebooks come with assistive technologies built in, as well as the ability to support additional technologies. These enable users to customize their device and browser's functionality to best meet their needs so they can focus on learning.
Best of all, users can customize their own Chromebook accessibility settings just once, and then those settings are automatically applied when they sign in on any device.
That way, in classrooms that share Chromebooks, students and teachers can be supported with every login without spending extra time updating their settings. Students can also log in from their Chromebook at home and maintain the same accessibility settings that they use in school. Let's take a look at some of the built-in tools that are especially useful on Chromebooks.
Students who are low vision or blind and need additional support can choose from a variety of visual aids within Chromebooks, including high contrast mode, full page zoom, magnification, and more. Chromebooks also come built in with the Chromebook screen reader, which reads all the text on the screen aloud and can be enabled or disabled at any time.
Another screen reading option is Select to Speak, which allows students to highlight the specific words on a page they want read aloud and see word-by-word highlighting.
For users who have limited hearing in one ear, Chromebooks can play the same sound through both speakers so you don't miss a word.
And students who struggle with keyboards or have difficulty typing can instead use their Chromebook's on-screen keyboard, which enables them to generate text with a touch, a mouse, or a joystick.
These are just a few of the many ways Chromebooks empower students to engage with their written and audiovisual learning materials. Accessibility features are a huge focus of Google for Education product teams, and if you'd like to learn more about how Google Chrome's accessibility features can support students in your classroom, check out the links below.
And we're always looking for ways to improve the usefulness of our tools. In the comments below, tell us which accessibility features you find most useful and what features and functionality you'd like to see added in the future. We'll see you next time.
Okay, so that's a little video there. So they kind of teased a few different features, but there's a lot of great things that can be done on the Chromebooks. So on the next slide here, I do have some helpful accessibility shortcuts. And one that I highlighted here is one that I know teachers email me often to turn off, and that's that high contrast mode, which we saw in the video where it turns everything black and you have those bright neon colors. Sometimes students turn it on accidentally and need help turning it off, and sometimes they turn it on purpose and say their Chromebook is broken. It's not broken, it's high contrast mode. And there are some keyboard shortcuts to quickly disable that or switch it back to regular view mode. So what you'll see here is on the left, you have the different accessibility shortcut, what it does, and then on the right, you have what you would press on your keyboard. So for example, for the high contrast mode, you would find the search key, which on Chromebooks is where the enter key or the, no, it's where the caps lock key is. But it's over on the left-hand side of the keyboard. You would look for the little magnifying glass, press and hold that, press and hold Control, and then H, and that is going to turn on or off high contrast mode. You'll see some of the other helpful shortcuts here. And if you're panicking and saying there's no way in heck I'm going to remember all of those, that's okay. I'm going to send you guys a copy of the slide deck tomorrow after I take attendance. And so you can come into the slide deck, you can print out just this slide, and you'll have some handy shortcuts to help your students out. Now, by all means, this is not all of the available accessibility features. So I have some quick links for you guys that once you get the slide deck, you can go through and explore. The first one is an interactive tutorial. Since as teachers, we don't have Chromebooks, this tutorial is going to let you simulate some of the accessibility features. So I can say explore accessibility features, and I can say make part of your screen larger. And in just a moment here, it is going to walk me through the steps on how to do that. So you can see here, I'm just kind of clicking on some of this stuff, and then I can practice some of the different controls here. So if you're interested in learning how to do some of these accessibility shortcuts, you can click on this interactive tutorial link here. And there's actually a lot of different tutorials on the Chromebooks that are helpful for you, but specifically there's a whole section on accessibility features, so you can dig into those and take a look at those. There is also a fantastic website all about Chromebook accessibility features because I have just a short amount of time with you guys today. So I did want to show you here, they have all of these different features and you can click on all of these to learn more. So they have accessibility features for students who have different visual needs, audio needs, listening needs, and motor needs. And like, let's say we want to learn about one more of these, we can go ahead and click on it. And it's going to take us to that relevant section where you can see you can customize your captions, you can turn on mono audio, you have spoken feedback, select to speak. So they go through all of the different settings, and there are sometimes links for how to do some of these. So this is a really helpful way to look at some of the accessibility features. And if you keep scrolling here, there are some step-by-step instructions on how to get to that accessibility area and manage all of the different accessibility settings. So I strongly encourage you to check this out, especially if you know that you have a learner who has some of these different needs in your classroom, or even if you don't, it's just good to know how to turn on captions or how to change the display so that it's most helpful for your students. And there's also a link here on using Chromebox. That is Chrome's Read Aloud Assistant. The final thing that I wanted to go over with you today as an accessibility tool is the Immersive Reader extension. So Microsoft has a tool called Immersive Reader, and Immersive Reader is super helpful. However, Microsoft has only partnered to integrate it in certain products. Like Schoology has an integration, for example, or PowerPoint has an integration. But if I'm on like Wikipedia or one of my curriculum websites, I may or may not have that integration. So there is an Immersive Reader extension. It has been approved for all students to install, and that means they can use Immersive Reader anywhere on the web. The steps are here on the slide. They would need to click on this link and add that to their Chromebook, or you can add it to your Chrome browser to test it out. And then once you have added that, you can find any text on the web and highlight it. So what I'm going to do here is I have this article on Martin Luther King, and I need some help reading this. I need to use that Immersive Reader extension. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all the text I need help with, right-click on it, and for Chromebook users, it's a 2-finger tap on their trackpad. So they use 2 fingers and the tap. That will bring up this right-click menu, and there'll be a new option after they install the extension that says Help Me Read This. They're going to click on that, and that is going to pull up the Immersive Reader viewer. And so now they can listen to the words.
Martin Luther King Jr., born Michael King Jr.
They can come in here, they can come into text preferences, they can change the font size. So if they do have some visibility issues, they can adjust that. They can increase and decrease the spacing to make things more comfortable. They can change the contrast. If black on white is hard, they could flip it to white on black. They have some grammar options they can dig through, and they have line focus that they can turn on if they need help kind of focusing on those lines. And there's even a translate function, which is new here. So they can even translate it into another language, like maybe French. And if I do by Word or by document, it's going to translate the entire thing for me. which is going to lead us into Victor Soria's presentation here in just a moment. But I did want to show you that. And then at any point, they just hit this back arrow and it takes them right back to where they were. So super easy to use. All they have to do is install the extension, highlight the text, right click on it or 2-finger tap and say, help me read this. And that immersive reader pops right up for them.